Let's talk now to Tamara Cincik, the founder and CEO of Fashion Roundtable, a think tank dedicated to sustainability and inclusivity. Welcome back to the programme, Tamara. Good to see you. So when we're talking about London Fashion Week, we're talking about one of the biggest events in fashion, aren't we? How much of a boost does it give the industry?
I think London Fashion Week is its 40th anniversary, always brings talent and focus to what the UK brings to the global fashion industry. And as your report showed, there are many Chinese designers who choose to show in London. And indeed, it's a great cosmopolitan global opportunity, particularly for new gen talent, to show and therefore be promoted and a great entry point into the industry.
So we showed just some of the Chinese designers who are putting on a show here in London. Do you think we're seeing a more diverse London Fashion Week these days?
I think London's always, since I've been in it, which isn't quite 40 years, but it's a long time, there's always been a brilliant diversity. As well as having a lot of international students enjoying their time in our universities. I'm in one at the moment, Bath Spa, where I'm the Professor of Fashion and Sustainability. So by becoming a student here and then wanting to build a business here, it's a fantastic opportunity to be part of this melting pot. And I'm also thinking of Hushan Zhang, who I've had speaking at events before, who really wanted to promote a luxury made in China story, which is a pivot from, in his words, from the normal conversation about Chinese manufacturing, and shows the beauty that can be produced there.
Something else we've seen evolving over the years is a move away from fast fashion, plus more ethical sourcing of garments and materials. How does the fashion industry deal with a movement that effectively is asking people to buy fewer clothes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the heart of the conundrum, and I think you've got to the heart of the issue. Where I think it needs to go is a lot more support. In the UK, we had 2 million in support from DCMS, but really for an industry that's worth more than aviation, automobiles and pharmaceuticals combined as an industry, more support would allow more DNA kind of R&D structuring, so that you could really build the business and look at fibre sovereignty, for instance, using local fabrics, looking like Paulo Cazana did in his show at Natural Dyes, looking at how we can build business ethically and environmentally. I think there are deeper challenges around, do we need 2 seasons? I think there's a question around that that many are trying to look at. And some brands chose not to show this season because of that. Preen by Thornton Bragazzi has only just started to show again after a few years off because of COVID and wanting to take their time. And they were part of the Thursday calendar, and it was a brilliant show, and I'm sure it will do very well. But they're also looking at diversity in terms of doing a homeware brand as well as doing clothes. So I think that creativity also allows you to be someone that thinks pivots quickly, and I think that that's what many brands have had to do.
So let's get back to London Fashion Week then. We're celebrating 40 years of this event. Possibly a difficult question to pick your favourite moments, but what have been the highlights, do you think, so far?
I mean, so I just was thinking about that before I came on. I was lucky enough to be at the first Hussein Chalayan show where he'd buried the clothes. Early McQueen shows were absolutely amazing. And yeah, I was there when Shalom was sprayed by the robot. That was an amazing moment. And then Meadham Kirchhoff, who's part of the New Gen show that Sarah Moa curated recently at the Design Museum, they were a brilliant brand. I mean, there's been lots of moments. And then even this week, there's been some shows that have been really interesting from New Gen talents. And it's always those moments where you're like, yes, this is, I'm part of something really exciting that make part of what London offers, I think, to the global fashion industry. It's those moments of feeling part of something really pushing boundaries, whether it's on ethics, sustainability, identity. I think London has been the first to really pose those questions.
Tamara, great to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us. That's Tamara Cincik, CEO and founder of Fashion Roundtable.